So we're here today with Robert Fischer, author of Plain Jane, as well as The Return of Private Fischer. Robert, tell us what Plain Jane's about.
Plain Jane is based on a true story of U.S. Air Force Major Mary Jane, who is discharged from the Air Force for refusing to wear the burqa and refusing to walk behind the men while stationed in Saudi Arabia. News of her unhappiness reached the United States. The Boston Herald, 60 Minutes ran stories along this line. And so while she's waiting for her discharge in Saudi Arabia, she accepts a $2 million contract to repossess a luxury 747 from a Saudi prince who never made a single payment. Thinking like a pilot, she signed that in a hurry. After the ink dried, she realizes that in order to pull this off, she has to wear the burqa and find somebody to walk behind, a man. So she calls an ex-lover, pilot, Jesus Martinez, talks him into this caper, and together, Mary and Jesus roam the desert looking for this 747.
So how would you categorize this novel?
This is a novel that has a lot of, first of all, it's based on a true story. It has a lot of cultural facts relating to the Arab culture in general, the treatment of women, the risks that people take, particularly women, in trying to take something from the royal family. The reader will probably realize for the first time that this is not a short news clip of what it's like to wear a burqa. The reader actually walks in the shoes of Mary Jane and finds her way around Arabia, learning how to eat spaghetti with the veil on, drinking tea, going to the bathroom, being forced to walk behind the men, being forced to carry all the luggage, being beaten by the morals police for showing an ankle. That's the kind of experience that the reader will see that they don't see in the newsreels.
So would you say that it's an action-packed adventure?
Absolutely action-packed. I think that few people realize that Saudi Arabia is not it's not a tourist attraction. If you wanted to come there as a tourist, you couldn't get in. You would need a sponsor that would vouch for you. That sponsor's name goes into your passport, and you're not leaving that country unless he signs that passport, which releases you. That leads to a lot of mischief, because if your sponsor is not happy with the deal that you cut, or if you made a deal with somebody else, or you got into some other social mischief with somebody's wife or whatnot, you could very well get invited down to the square and have your arm or leg or head chopped off only because you're accused. The accuser's voice counts for one full vote. You, the defendant, counts for only half. If you have an accuser and you're there under his, as him as a sponsor, you don't have a prayer. So there's inherent dangers in just walking around Saudi Arabia. There's also anti-Americanism, anti-colonialism, and any excuse that they could find to arrest you for violating their moral standards, they will do. And I'll explain later that actually happened to me.
Okay.